Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Freedom Cast. I am your host Hannah, and today the migrant explosion worsens. You voted for this on a poll on the channel, so today we're covering it. Figures from the UK Home Office reveal that nearly 15,000 illegals have made the English Channel crossing this year alone. They have access to our NHS, they have access to our housing. They're being housed in either hostels or sometimes even 4-star hotels. This is true. And last year, accommodation for illegals cost the taxpayer around £3 billion. Some stats are even predicting that white people are going to become a minority in England. I'm going to tell you why we are observing the erasure of whiteness and why I believe the current best possible solution is for there to be a national widespread effort to have more white babies. And this is not controversial. I'm not being provocative. I don't want to see any race go extinct. I don't want to see Mexicans to go extinct. I don't want to see Spanish people to go extinct. Dr. Umar Johnson is a prominent African-American voice. He's an advocate, a psychologist, and he pushes for Pan-Africanism. If Dr. Umar Johnson is allowed to exist and talk about the preservation of blackness and black culture by, intermarrying only with black people, there's nothing controversial about what I'm saying. We need more white babies to rescue the population of English people. But before we jump into this video, please remember to drop a massive big thumbs up. It could boost the video in the algorithm and you can have more representation of your values in the media. That's all it takes: a like, commenting your ideas, and sharing this video with a friend. Now, it's important that you understand that I originally just supported tougher border policy. That's all I wanted. I supported the Rwanda Plan when it came out. I'm still a huge fan of Priti Patel. She was our then Home Secretary who devised the plan in 2022. And it was actually an economic and development partnership, okay? It wasn't just deportation. The illegals would be sent to Rwanda, their asylum application would be processed in Rwanda, and then if they were granted asylum, they would be subsequently integrated into housing, healthcare, and the workforce. Now, the British government gave the Rwandan government £250 million. £250 million that Rwanda is not contractually obligated to refund to us. So you can imagine the frustration of me, many other people, and the government at the time when this plan was blocked by the ECHR and the High Court and the Court of Appeal. I know, this should expose to you, this should make it painfully obvious that not even our elected representatives in our so-called democratic society, not even the sitting government, had the power to enforce its own borders. You had the foreign interference of the faceless bureaucracy named the ECHR, the European Court of Human Rights, and it's based in Strasbourg, France. Can you name one judge on the ECHR? Can you even point to Strasbourg, France on a map? No, you cannot. Maybe you can, but most of us will not be able to do that because for some reason I don't fully understand yet, white British people hate the French, okay? I've asked them a few times, like, what is it? I don't know what it is. Like, every comedian's like, oh, the French. I'm like, what is this? I don't understand this. Anyways, I think it's a white British thing. You hate the French. Why have you put them in control of your borders? I don't understand this. Why are you giving money to Emmanuel Macron? Please, Macron, do something with this border. Why are you what is this? I don't understand. And then also it's blocked by the High Court and the Court of Appeal because they cited the reason that asylum seekers wouldn't be safe in Rwanda. You put them at the potential risk of harm by sending them there. They said that Rwanda, sending the illegals to Rwanda is a potential human rights violation because it's not fully safe for all asylum seekers there. Oh, but they're safe here in Britain. Was it not our government that demanded that we stay trapped in our homes for a year and a half? Was it not the UK government that demanded that we accept an experimental vaccine that people are still recovering from if they survived that vaccine? They are still recovering from it. Struggles to conceive, irregular monthly cycles, everything, Ramsay Hunt syndrome. Was it not the UK government that did that coerced us into accepting a vaccine? You're going to get fired, you're going to lose your pension, you're going to lose your loved ones. The courts also cited the risk of arbitrary detention in Rwanda because they claim that the Rwanda government does not fairly treat its citizens and it unjustly applies law enforcement. And then I said, well, like brother, like sister, like, you know, like is that not what happened to Nicola Wilcox? The lady who lived in Leeds, she handed over some ice lollies to police officers. She was subsequently arrested by police officers and charged with disrupting what they called a Romanian vigil. It was the Leeds riots. The Romanians were rioting and the police called this a Romanian vigil. And not the vigilers, but Nicola Wilcox spent a night in the police cell. Not the people torching the buses and throwing things everywhere. Nicola Wilcox, because she handed ice lollies to these police officers. They probably thought it was patronising or something, is my best guess. Or perhaps you were like the journalist, the Telegraph journalist, Alison Pearson, who was investigated by the Essex police because she put an opinion on X that hurt somebody's feelings. Oh, unfairly treated citizens. Rwanda is so mean to its population and it's just not developed and it's not like civilized in the same way we are and it's not democratically as advanced and we're progressive. And no, we're not. We're not. The High Court clearly had in my view, a Western saviour complex. You arrive in Britain and your problems dissipate. We'll house you, we'll look after you, we'll feed you, we'll educate you, we'll do everything. Your problems do not vanish once you get here to Britain. And in fact, depending on which country you came from, it might actually be worse. I know there are some things you can say in Rwanda about your Christian faith that you cannot say in England without being dropped so fast by your employers. There are some things you can say in certain countries that you literally cannot say in England. So stop acting like England is so advanced and so civilized. Priti Patel devised the most compassionate deportation policy I'd ever seen in my life. You're deported to a country. You're actually housed in the Hope Hostel, Kigali, Rwanda, which if you see the photos of the Hope Hostel, better living conditions than over 6 million Brits who are living in substandard living conditions right now. Mold infested council flats, poor plumbing, heating, electricity. You would actually be housed in better living conditions than people living in the UK. Stop acting like we're so first world, we're so modern, okay? Better living conditions than British citizens. And on top of that, you have access to all of these like hotel amenities. You've got like a 24/7 reception desk, free parking, free Wi-Fi. All of these things are available where you would have been accommodated. You're not being sent to the frickin' slums. Chill your effing beans, High Court. You're not being sent to the slums. And yet somehow this is like an inhumane deportation policy. Like this is not as a human rights violation, possible human rights violation. And then you're integrated into the Rwandan workforce if your application is successful. Do you know how unnecessarily compassionate and considerate this deportation policy is? We could have been like other countries. We could have been like America. We could have been like America. Have you seen their ICE raids? Have you seen Donald Trump's ICE raids? They're merciless, relentless, unforgiving. He's stopping at nothing. Oh, you gave birth once you came to America? I don't care. Yeeting you right back. You can't just give birth here and then expect that you're entitled to citizenship. He's tearing families apart right now in America in the name of enforcing their national borders. He doesn't care. You should have been smarter than that. You should have thought before you came here. Like, there is no mercy. Americans show no mercy to their illegals. There's no mercy. So when Priti Patel sits there and thinks about how you're going to be housed, how you're going to be fed, are you going to go to work? I'm like, what? What? I hope that Americans don't find out about the Rwanda Plan because they're going to make fun of us. The Republicans will make fun of us because this is so pathetic. The high courts have the power to override a decision from our elected representatives. So this is why I'm saying we just need more white babies. Because there's literally, what can we do? What the frick hell, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It is evident that no matter how much UK voters want more border controls, the government is simply ineffective and over-regulated by foreign or external bureaucracies. The ECHR, the High Court, the Court of Appeal. Who are you? Who are you? I didn't vote you in. And where are the High Court local elections? Where are the Courts of Appeal local elections? Where are the representatives that we asked? We didn't ask you to be there. And yet somehow they have more power than the voter base in this country. And if you think about it enough, you're just going to get annoyed. You're just going to get frustrated. You're just going to be like, oh my God, this is annoying. And what we're going to do? And I feel so hopeless. And you're not hopeless. You're not hopeless. There is still hope. There is something you can do. You can't do what we wanted to do because we don't really have democracy in Britain. But you can just have more white babies. That's something you're in control of. Okay? The reason the Muslim population is exploding is because they have loads of children. It's one of the reasons people think that Islam is... a lot of people are under the impression that Islam is the fastest growing religion because of the conversion rate. It's not the case. It's not like there's a mass conversion to Islam. It's a rapid population growth. They have multiple children by multiple different wives. And then it's compounded by the exponential nature of population growth. They have an explosion of their religion and their ethnicity. So, of course, your little town in Dorchester doesn't stand a freaking chance. Doesn't stand, the little road, the little avenue I grew up in Dorchester with my nan. You don't stand a chance against the Ahmeds and the Mahmoods. You don't stand a freaking chance. You need to have more babies. You need to have more white babies. You white people have smaller families. You opt for smaller families because you want to have financial freedom. That's one of the main reasons. You don't want to be under any type of financial constraints. You want to prioritize your career. But unbeknownst to you, you are forfeiting the perpetuation of your heritage for financial freedom. You're willing to sacrifice that because you want to go on a few extra holidays a year. Really? Really? You want to go to Bahrain? You want to go to Italy? No Arab is concerned about their species dying out, their values dying out, because their values are heavily enforced or felt across their population culturally and politically. So culturally, there's an emphasis for women to have kids. That's a priority for women to have because they actually want to have kids, sort of traditional values in Islamic culture. But then also on the political level, you're actually prohibited in some Middle Eastern nations from being distracted from this priority culturally. So, I mean, that's why we gave Malala the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014. Malala won the Nobel Peace Prize. She was shot in the head by the Taliban for her tireless campaigning and for women's rights to education. She stood up to the face of the Taliban. She was shot because she wanted to get her education. You go, girl. You know, she's a major inspiration, honestly. I just say that because there are so many girls in England that don't value their education, sadly. In the West, anyways. We don't value it because there's no scarcity of it. It's just everywhere. You could just Google anything. You could just go to school and there's no price you have to pay for your education. Whereas Malala nearly paid with her life. And yeah, it just hurts me when I see women who are not smart because I'm like, you know, where women getting shot in the head to read a book and you're out here moving mad. Like, go to school, don't be silly, do your homework, okay? Don't be shouting at the back of the bus and being disrespectful to your teachers because there's a girl who literally got shot so that she could have a teacher. Have you read her book? Start there. Just start there with I Am Malala because I think a lot of the disrespect comes from ingratitude that we see in schools today. It just comes from ingratitude. You have no idea. And it's largely because the Taliban believe that women are only supposed to be wives and mothers. A lot of the dissemination of Islam relies heavily upon the women remaining focused and prioritizing marriage and family. Now, by no means am I saying we need the assistance of a terrorist organization to encourage women to prioritize having children as opposed to climbing the corporate ladder. But what I am saying is that as urgently and as extremistly, you need to start having more white babies. Hurry up, Claire. You white people will do more wildlife conservation for a dying species than for your own race. You white people will do more wildlife conservation for a dying exotic species than for your own heritage. Your own race. What's up with that? Oh, you want to protect the endangered Cornish chough. Really? Endangered Cornish chough. I'm going to use the Cornish chough as an example because I was reading up on this bird last year because I was bored out of my mind and I wanted to identify birds by their songs. And it has these like jet black feathers, a distinct red beak. I thought it was a rather beautiful bird. But so much effort has gone into conserving this bird. Like, you people will do little bird feeders in your back garden. Not for the Cornish chough, but like an example, like you put like a bird feeder in your back garden because all the birds have nowhere to go because they're chopping down all the trees in the city. And but you won't have a baby. Now, this is how much effort has gone into rescuing the Cornish chough. The Cornwall Chough Project, driven by the RSPB, the National Trust, the Cornwall Wildlife Trust, and DEFRA, has restored coastal habitats by reintroducing grazing with cattle, sheep, and ponies. Oh my goodness. Volunteer groups. This is unpaid labour now. I don't want to hear, oh, I can't afford a child. Oh, you are volunteering. You are giving unpaid labour to the Cornish chough. Volunteer groups now monitor nests and conduct chough watches to protect the birds from predators and egg thieves. There's no black people on that group. They're on that chough watch. The day I find a black person on a chough watch, you know what? It will probably be me. Okay, so it will probably be, but I will have to ask him. I'll be like, "You all right? It's everything. You're here because you want to be, right? Blink twice. Blink once, blink twice if you need my help." Anyways, and because of their efforts, choughs are not only recolonizing the coast, but now also venturing inland into restored pasture reserves. The Cornish chough. White people are going extinct. Your species is dying out. Maybe this is the only way maybe this is the only way you're going to listen to it. You have to put it like, okay, it's like energy, wildlife conservation. Okay. We need to conserve the natural habitat of the Caucasian ecosystem that is under threat from the neighboring ecosystems. Because of the tropical biome of the earthquakes in Peru and the tectonic plates and the failure to conserve the wildlife. You need to have more white babies. So you better team up and resolve your disputes between blondes or brunettes. Just pick one, anyone. I know this is the age-old dichotomy for you guys. Blondes or brunettes, anyone. Just pick one. Get married, consummate, have a white family. And as for the critics, because I know they'll be watching, I would say this about any species. I mean, white people, black people. I don't want to see black people go extinct. I don't want to see Asian people go extinct. I said this in the beginning. I don't want anyone to go extinct. It's sad. The only reason we can have multiculturalism that you love so much is because there are multiple cultures. If you don't have multiple different cultures that are distinct from one another, that are preserved and unique and fundamentally different, you can't have multiculturalism. And now, if you enjoyed this clip, part 1 of the episode, please remember to drop a massive big thumbs up. You can have more representation of your values in the media. If you just like this video, we could boost it in the algorithm. Comment your ideas down below and share it with a friend. Thank you so much. Part 2 in the description.